We talking Justice League, y'all. Now let me be straight with you guys. What I'm about to do is just simply to debunk some really silly things. They were like, man, in the trailers, you know, the Justice League movie didn't show most. Look at almost all the things in the trailers were not in the Justice League movie. Really? Really? Alright, we'll go through the Justice League special Comic-Con footage. We'll go through the Justice League official trailer 1. We'll go through the Justice League sneak peek. We'll go through the Justice League Heroes trailer. Okay? And we'll really see how true this saying is. Alright? Let's just see. Let's just see. And if the things that are left out, if they're really, really important to the story, or if they really make a difference. Alright? So let's go through it. Let's proofread this. Alright? Let's proofread it. We're going to go through it right now. Right now. Alright, let's begin. Justice League special Comic-Con footage. That was the very first Justice League trailer. And here's the thing about it. I'm only going through these 4 trailers because they're 4 official trailers. There are other little small itsy bitsy trailers after that, but I don't really count those. But you can also count it in. I'll do that in another video. How about that? I'll also do the B-roll footage. Alright? That's to tell you how much I will do all these things just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Alright? Let's go through the Justice League special Comic-Con footage. Bear in mind, this was the very first footage they shot of Justice League. Okay? How much of that is actually in the movie? Let's see. Let's go.
There is a stranger who comes to this village from the sea. He comes in the winter when people are hungry and brings fish. He comes on the king tide. That was last night.
Alright, let's stop for a minute. Now, everything that Ben Affleck said there, up to this point, was in the Justice League movie, man. Now, this part where Aquaman turns and says, talk, obviously wasn't in the movie because it wasn't designed that way. Aquaman was just on the side. The key man, the king man, was this dude. So they did this particularly for the footage for the trailer, right? So that was not important to the movie. You know, there's sometimes things they put in the trailer just to get your excitement up, but it don't ever end up in the movie. This is one of those things. But the bulk, we're talking about 18 seconds of this trailer. The bulk of that time right there, we saw in the movie. Yeah, the color palette was a little bit different, but it was exactly the same words, exactly the same setting. Let's keep it moving. We know Aquaman's going to say talk.
Talk.
All right. Okay? Just that one little moment where he turns and says talk was not in the movie. It was never going to be in the movie. But let's keep it moving. Remember, this special Comic-Con footage was just stuff they shot early on. Alright? So that stuff where Ben Affleck was talking to Aquaman, that was shot real early. That was Zack Snyder. None of it is Joss Whedon. Let's keep it rolling.
I believe that an enemy is coming from far away.
Let's just stop right there. Stop right there. That footage you just saw there was in the movie. Everybody knows this. It was directly that footage you saw was in the movie. What Ben Affleck is saying right now was in the movie. Let's keep it moving.
I'm looking for warriors.
Okay, this scene right here was not in the movie. We know where it's from in the movie, though. This is Diana. She's in the underground tunnels between Metropolis and Braxton Island, and she's facing Steppenwolf. Obviously, this is what this is right here. Let's keep it rolling.
This stranger.
Alright. Where Aquaman was just now drinking that scotch or rum or whiskey, whatever it was, that was straight from the movie. Okay? This shot right here where he's just standing and the sea is splashing on him, that was not in the movie. And it's in the B-roll footage, but it's not in the movie. Everything so far we're talking about is early footage. Zack Snyder stuff. Nothing to do with Joss Whedon. Let's keep it moving. Y'all saying, oh, Joss Whedon changed up the movie and buzz. This is Zack Snyder stuff. Alright? This is early.
Others like him.
That was in the movie.
I'm building
That was in the
alliance
movie.
to defend us.
Right. This was not in the movie. Where Cyborg is walking. He's from Gotham City University. He's GCU. That was not in the movie. It just wasn't in the movie at any point in time. Okay? Cool.
It's It's very important that I see
That was
this
in the
now.
movie. This was in the movie. This was in the movie.
Barry Allen. Bruce Wayne.
You said that like it explains why there's a total stranger sitting in the dark in my second favorite chair.
That was in the movie. Everything we're seeing so far was in the movie. And these are notice these are the longer scenes. We only had two things. One which was Aquaman standing when the sea comes in on him. When he turns and says talk. Okay? That's it. And that's of course Cyborg. Shot a Cyborg. Those weren't in the movie. But again, with the Aquaman footage, you didn't expect that to be in the movie, right? Aquaman was actually walking when he went into the sea. We saw that, and that's in the B-roll footage. But the point is, so far, this conversation the Flash is about it, Barry Allen's supposed having with Bruce Wayne, the Flash having with Batman, this stuff is straight in the movie. All of this is in the movie.
He said he'll fight with
That
us?
was in the movie. This is not in the movie. Okay, Diana talking to Bruce here in the background, that was not in the movie. All right?
More or more less?
This was in the movie. That was in the movie, right? This is not in the movie. Diana talking.
Probably more or less.
He said no.
He said no.
This is from the movie. This is when he's talking about the acrylic fabric, silicone based.
I don't know who you are, but whoever you're looking for,
Verbatim that was said. Here we go. This is the exact camera angle, exact camera shots. Just the color palette's a little bit tweaked. It's pure Zack Snyder. This is also the bulk of the Comic-Con footage.
So you're fast.
that feels like an oversimplification.
I'm putting together a team. People with special abilities. You see, I believe enemies are coming.
Stop right there. I'm in.
You are?
Right, so all of that was in the movie. This is the part that's not in the movie when he says just like that.
Just like that.
That part right there, they cut that out.
Yeah, I need friends.
Great.
Can I keep this?
Okay, so all of that was in the movie. Here we go. That was in the movie. That was in the movie. This was not in the movie, okay? This is where Cyborg is engaging the enemy. This was not in the movie. And Cyborg only came on the scene after he had protected his father and stuff. And then he just saw him fly in and he hit the Batmobile. So it's a little bit, there's some footage missing of Cyborg. Okay, let's keep it moving. We didn't see that. We saw that.
I heard about you.
And we didn't see this footage right here.
Didn't think you were real. I'm real when it's useful. Arthur Curry. I hear you can talk to fish.
And that was in the movie. Okay? So we had basically 4 or 5 things which were not in the movie. And out of all that time, out of that 2 minutes and 38 seconds, about 2 minutes of the stuff is in the movie. Okay? So people saying, oh, it wasn't in the movie, they're exaggerating things, folks. Let's keep it moving. Here is the Justice League official trailer 1. Of course, this scene right here was not in the movie, but it's just an extension of the scene where Batman is going to try and find Aquaman. But there are some scenes in here that are straight from the movie. Here we go. This is all Zack Snyder again.
We have to be ready. You, me, the others.
And in the narration, that part you just heard there is not in the movie, but this is the part that is. And by the way, this shot is from in the movie.
There's the text.
So is this shot right here. But this part right here that Bruce Wayne's talking about, there's an attack coming, is from the movie.
Coming from far away.
Not coming, Bruce. It's already here.
Okay, and this shot here is also from the movie. So all that stuff that we just said was from the movie is from the movie. Okay, let's keep it moving. That's not in the movie. Clearly, Cyborg didn't have. He hid the the mother box, or what he calls the change engine. So this wouldn't be there. So this was just for your suspense to know a bit about the story. Let's keep it going. That was in the movie.
The others.
This was not in the movie, and this was a cut scene from the movie. We just got a quick scene with Diana talking to Bruce.
Where are they?
This was from the movie. Aquaman saving the guy.
Arthur.
This is also a close-up from in the movie.
Curry.
This is from in the movie as well. That's from in the. All of that's from in the movie. This part here is not in the movie. Okay. This is not.
Organic and bioelectronic
This is from in the movie.
body parts.
This is where Cyborg is protecting Dr. Stone and other people before he rockets back in to smash through the night crawler. So all of this was going on. We just never saw it in the movie. Alright, let's keep moving.
He's a cyborg.
This is Superman's scene where Superman probably tossed a tank at them.
You should probably move.
Well, we've seen this
Barry
scene.
Allen.
We've seen this scene already. This is Barry Allen running. We may have seen this in the movie. I can't remember.
Whoever you're looking for, it's not me.
He's gonna say you're the Batman, which is also in the movie.
You're the Batman?
This scene wasn't finished, but the finished scene is seen in the movie.
He said the age of heroes would never come again.
Right, now this scene is not in the movie. What part of the movie do you think this would be? This could be when they're standing at the end of the movie, or it could be somewhere when they're outside. You know, when they were outside as a team, just about to enter into the Steppenwolf's territory and Parademon territory, and the sky was red. This could be it.
Has to.
This was also not in the movie. I think this particular trailer is the one that has the least amount of things in the movie. This is where, obviously, Aquaman is getting into Steppenwolf's lair. We know this now. This is an unfinished product. Never saw this part. This is where she sweep kicks a guy. Doesn't really matter. This is really with the terrorist hostage situation. She did a bunch of other things. Okay, we saw Cyborg flying out of the hole, but this particular scene we didn't see. Neither that, neither this. However, where the Parademon smashes into pieces, we saw that in the movie.
What are your superpowers again?
Straight from the movie.
I'm rich.
This is from the movie as well. That's from the movie as well. This part here, where he says, "My turn," was moved from the movie. He instead says, "I didn't bring a sword."
My turn.
That's from the movie. That's from the movie. That wasn't from the movie. Cyborg playing football. Wonder Woman blasting the shield. That's in the movie. The Flash running is in the movie. Lois Lane turning to see something in the sky is not in the movie. Aquaman blocking that stuff is in the movie. Mira's in the movie, but this particular shot of Mira is not in the movie. This is in the movie. This stuff is in the movie. But finished. This also. Also that. That part with Cyborg just now looking there was not in the movie. However, this with Aquaman dodging Steppenwolf's Electro Axe is in the movie. Flash taking off and speeding off is in the movie. Wonder Woman falling down into Steppenwolf's lair is not in the movie, even though we see a piece where she's just getting back up. And also, Aquaman and Cyborg are not actually with her. Cyborg is brought in by Flash. Aquaman tag teams Steppenwolf. He does come from another angle, though. And she doesn't say, "Shall we?" of course.
Shall we?
It's good to see you playing well with others again.
And this stuff is straight from the movie.
Just like a bat. I dig it. Maybe temporary.
All of that straight from the movie. Okay, so there's a lot in the movie. Even though this trailer is probably the one with the most amount of stuff that's not in the movie, still, you got a lot that's in the movie. And all of this is Zack Snyder. Just remember that. All right. The only thing I think meaningful there that seemed like it was changed was the fact that Wonder Woman would come in with Cyborg and Aquaman. Whereas in the movie, she came in by herself, and then Aquaman came in also and tag teamed from behind, and Flash brought in Cyborg. It's a little bit different. Okay, so that was something that was changed, clearly. That end scene with Superman, Joss Whedon did some slight changes. I think they did it with the CGI department. Okay, let's look at Justice League Comic-Con sneak peek. Let's look at that one. All right, we're going through it all. We're going to debunk this crap, man. The sneak peek is very interesting. Sneak peek is the last of Zack Snyder's work. It came out in June, I do believe, or July, I can't remember, but it was Zack Snyder and Junkie XL's work. I thought it had something to do with Joss Whedon and Danny Elfman, but not at all. It was really Junkie XL and Zack Snyder. All right, so let's keep it going. What I like about this, though, is that the take on this is much more grounded because it doesn't have that weird music going on with Danny Elfman. Anyway, that's straight from the movie. Straight from the movie. Straight from the movie. I love the special effects. So everything except for this sliding kick here, sweep kick, is in the movie.
What did you do this weekend, Diana?
Me?
Huh.
Nothing very interesting.
All right, and that also is in the movie. Let's keep it moving.
The world remains in
That's in the movie.
mourning after the
background discussion is not in the movie, and it probably never was meant for the movie. It was just to give you a background.
death of the Superman.
That's in the movie.
What we're saying.
This was left out of the movie, I guess, again, to narrate things, not necessarily to be in the movie.
It's a crime wave around
That's in the movie.
the Gotham past.
And that's in the movie.
The mass vigilante has been
This was not in the movie. Again, it's just fan service for the trailer, I guess. It wasn't necessary.
no show.
He said the age of heroes would never come.
Alright, so this was not in the movie, but it does prep you. Like the trailers, they kind of prep you as to what the movie will be about, which is kind of cool.
Again.
It has to.
This was in the movie.
We don't have any more time.
Something is coming.
And this is in the movie. That's in the movie. Now, what Steppenwolf says is not in the movie. This is in the movie. This is in the movie. This is in the movie.
No lanterns.
This is in the movie. This is not in the movie, but I don't think they were going to have it in the movie. I think it was just to let you guys know Superman was there. Because as you will see in the Whedon directed... when Whedon had taken over as director, they had another trailer, which was the Heroes trailer. And you will see this in the Heroes trailer. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they were planning to have this in the movie anyway.
Kryptonian.
Oh, by the way, that shows that Superman doesn't wear a black suit. You see him there with a blue suit. I just thought that was worth the while for people to know. This was not in the movie either, with the Flash breaking through to save Iris West.
This world will fall.
That clearly was in the movie.
Like all the others.
That was not in the movie.
Well, this is the days when one's biggest concerns were exploding wind-up penguins.
That was in the movie.
This is crazy.
Now, while Steppenwolf and the Parademons were in the movie just like that, we didn't see him until he had the second mother box in that lair. So that's slightly different to what you would have seen in the movie. Also, that right you're seeing there was not exactly the way how it was shot in the movie. Even though that still shows you that that's what they were about. They were in the nuclear silo. Anyway.
We're all gonna die.
What Aquaman says there was not said like that in the movie. Nonetheless, it hints to something. This is Batman driving his car out of the trooper ship or whatever you want to call it, plane, whatever, troop carrier. And in this case, the troop carrier is stationary as Batman drives out of it. They had the troop carrier moving. Just a little special effects to make that happen. But it's the same angle, same shot, same everything. So this is in the movie.
Each of us, in some way, is held back.
What Bruce Wayne says here is exactly what was said in the movie. However, when you look at the shot of them standing around there in different clothes to what was in the movie, maybe an alternate shooting. That's all it might have been. That's in the movie.
Don't engage alone. We'll do this together.
That was not in the movie. Flash running is in the movie.
It's really cool. You guys seem ready to do battle.
This was not in the movie. This is when they went to Sky Labs. I'm sorry, not Sky Labs, Star Labs.
Stuff that I've never done battle. I just
This was in the movie.
push some people and run away.
That was in the movie. This part right here was reshot. It is in the movie, but it's reshot. Cyborg looks more human, not as robotic as he behaves here. I actually prefer this version, but that's okay.
Relax, Alfred. I'll take it from here.
Do I know you?
So all of this here, from here on in, is in the movie. All of this.
Was a
All of
beacon
this.
to the world.
All of that.
He didn't just save people.
All of that.
He made the
Now this was not in the movie. This is when Wonder Woman pretty much blasts the terrorists out of, and the blast explodes into the bottom windows and stuff. Okay, so that's just her blasting the terrorists out there. And that was not an explosion that went off, but I think the Wonder Woman's action on the terrorists.
can see the best parts of themselves.
That was in the movie. That was in the movie, but it isn't finished.
Hold on.
That was in the movie, but again, they had them actually in the underground place tunnel between okay, it's gonna come to me, between Gotham and Braxton Island, right? The underground tunnels system. That's where they originally had Aquaman say, all right, but they fast tracked it in the movie to where he was inside of the nuclear silo in Russia, where Steppenwolf's nest is.
I don't recognize this one.
By the way, that's Cyborg moving upwards. That was not in the movie. Here's Aquaman doing his thing. That's in the movie. This was an explosion when Batman shut down that tower thingy, and they're showing the aftershot. All of this was in the movie, but there was more CGI elements of stuff expanding out, the purple and red stuff.
Recognize him.
This was in the movie. This was in the movie.
You just have faith.
Okay, this was not in the movie when they landed. Instead, you heard them landing when Superman was there. But this was in the movie. This was in the movie. Now, it's not that the shot, the particular shot with them coming in, wasn't in the movie. But this was in the movie. But yes, you heard when they came. You could hear it. This was in the movie. That was in the movie. That was in the movie. And that was in the movie. And this was in the movie. And what's so cool about this, we know Zack Snyder actually had this dome thing create that Steppenwolf was doing. So it's really true that the storyline that we got for the end of the movie with Steppenwolf forming this dome from the mother boxes and stuff is really original Zack Snyder idea. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't get. They thought it was Joss Whedon that did that. No. This is Zack Snyder's idea. And I'll explain to you guys at the end of this video what I'm talking about. Not Zack Snyder again.
How many
And this is all Zack Snyder.
of you are there?
Not enough.
Do you really think that...
Oh, wow, they really just vanished. Huh? Oh, that's rude.
So that's Junkie XL's track you're hearing with the Man of Steel theme, which was just so awesome. That's the only difference. That was not in the movie because Junkie XL wasn't in the movie. But all of the stuff I just showed you, there's just one or two minor things, and it's just different camera angles, different shots. The things were in the movie, but they were different camera angles, different shots. of stuff, you know, for the most part. And some things with Cyborg was not in the movie, period. But the point is, most of the stuff is in the movie. Now, let's keep it going. This is the part that's not in the movie. This is the part that comes between Lois Lane telling Clark Kent to go help Bruce and they, and when he finally arrives and helps Bruce and they face Steppenwolf, the timing he has. This is the scene in between that where Clark Kent needs to find out where they are, right? So this is it here. I think they used it in the trailers actually to just hint at Superman coming back in the
You
movie.
said you'd come. Now let's hope you're not too late.
Okay, so that's basically it. And when you look at it, the movie doesn't really have a whole bunch of more of stuff. Most of the stuff is kind of fluff around the storyline, and the stuff that people are making a big deal about, it's really minor stuff. It's just like a lead way into continuing and furthering the plot along. And so it's not that big a deal. And Superman did not have a black suit, folks. He didn't have a black suit in this movie. And we clearly could tell that because we saw in this trailer that Superman was wearing a blue suit with a red cape. That's what Batman's looking at. He's looking at a what do you call that thing? It'll come to me. He's looking at a virtual thing. What you call that thing? I forgot what you call it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Of Superman there. Okay. All right. Here's the last one, the Heroes trailer. This is now. Joss Whedon is the guy directing the film, and he put together this trailer. And you're gonna see stuff that's not in the movie in this trailer, telling you that they weren't planning to have it in the movie, but they wanted you to get an idea of what the movie is about, so they used that to storytell. And all of this is Zack Snyder, by the way. No Joss Whedon up in there. This is all Zack Snyder. See, I wish this was in there for this particular scene with Clark and Lewis, but that was in the movie. This was not.
I'll take that as a yes.
What?
Now, this here was in the movie, right there. Okay, and then after that, Whedon went to something else.
The ring.
All of this was not in the movie, but this is from BVS, so it doesn't deserve to be in the movie. This was cool. So we saw this in the movie. Now, it's very important to understand, though, that when they were doing this trailer, which kind of was strange, even with the ring and everything, and making it look like it was a dream to fool you guys, but it was actually an actual event that happened in the movie, what was cool about it was it got you intrigued and interested in the movie, and that's the whole point behind it.
The world remains in mourning after the death of Superman. Violence.
The narration is not part of the movie. It was never in the movie, but this shot was in the movie.
Acts of war and terrorism are all on the rise.
This was in the movie. This was not. This was not. That was.
It was the end of the world.
That was. And let me just say, all of this is original Zack Snyder stuff. Nothing here. Even this invasion part that she talks about, I can show you in B-roll footage that Snyder had her doing that. So that was part of Snyder's plan right there too. Just the colors look different. The sneak peek kind of has the colors like this, and now we see this, and it's full of colors. Really beautiful, I gotta say. All right, let's just keep it going. This is all Snyder.
I think it's something more. Something darker.
And that was actually from Snyder as well, but that the shot was kept in the movie of Batman, but none of this narration actually ended up in the movie, which is not a problem. This was in the movie. This was at the end of the movie.
We're asking people we don't
This was in the middle of the movie.
know to risk their lives.
That was in the movie.
Strong man is strong as alone. You ever
That was in the movie.
heard that?
That was in the movie. That was in the
That's not a
movie.
saying. That's the opposite of what the
That was in the movie.
saying is.
That was in the movie. That was in the movie. That was in the movie.
Divided. We are not.
That we didn't. That was in the movie, but we never saw that where the Flash tripped over that, or Aquaman slamming into the rock and Steppenwolf head ramming. But it was in the movie. This was not in the movie. The way how they have it. It was not in the movie how they had it. And again, this was seen before, and a lot of people took it to be Cyborg would die at the end of the movie, when in fact, as Superman was helping Snyder separate these mother boxes. But anyway, it's cool. This was in the movie. This was in the movie.
World needs Superman.
This was not in the movie, and that's what I'm trying to. This is called a what? Hologram. That's the word I was looking for. Hologram of Superman. It's a hologram of Superman, and it's not in the movie. But it was just a hint to you. Superman's there. Get what I'm saying? And notice the suit that Batman has. This is the suit we see him with the group talking about when they're going to bring back Superman. And what's very important for you guys to understand is we saw them standing in front of the memorial of Superman, so we knew they were facing Superman. So Superman was bareback Superman. You go look at the B-roll, he was bareback. There's no place for him to have the black suit. I don't get why he would have the black suit. I think in the early shootings, Zack Snyder decided to shoot Henry Cavill in a black suit. I can understand that. You know, it's cool and everything, but I don't think he was going to ever use the black suit Superman in the movie. Not at all. It didn't make any sense. Let's keep it going. Again, that's from Man of Steel. That was not in the movie. This was in the movie. Love that. Cyborg running up in the, jumping up in the air and flying was in the movie. The Flash running is in the movie.
I made him a promise.
That was in the movie. That was in the movie. That was in the movie. That was in the movie.
This is why I brought you together.
That was in the movie, but the narration by Bruce Wayne, Batman, was not in the movie.
Ride ain't over yet.
My man.
That was in the movie. That was in the movie. All of that was in the movie. That was in the movie.
Oh.
And that was in the movie. Now, the interesting thing about this whole thing is all of that is Zack Snyder shot. All of it. All of it. The narration by Batman could have been Joss Whedon doing a reshoot of what they were doing. But everything you see here was Zack Snyder. And all of it was in the movie. Alright? Let's just let it go.
Awesome. As a bat signal, that's your...
Oh, sorry. That's your signal. That means we have to go now.
Yeah, that's what that means.
It's so cool.
We didn't get that shot where Wonder Woman smiled at Batman before they moved off either. So Zack Snyder-y. The Flash definitely is Zack Snyder. But the point behind it is, guys, that my point is there's a lot in the trailers that's actually in the movie. And some of the shots in the trailers, they used it to tell a story. That's what they were doing. I like it. I really actually like what they did. And they really built up hype for Justice League. And then all these negative rumors and stuff is what really hurt Justice League. But share with people these trailers. If people who have seen the movie, of course, clearly. And show them that, hey, man, this talk about, oh, this was not in the movie and this was not in the movie from the trailers. It's not true. These are the major trailers. There's also some minor trailers, which you can check out, too, and they give a little bit more about what was in the movie. But at the end of the day, these major trailers didn't... The only trailer, I think, that had the most amount of stuff left out of the movie was official trailer 1. Sneak peek trailer had a lot of stuff in the movie, okay? We're talking about the majority of stuff was in the movie. This too, okay? Well, this one's, under Joss Whedon. But there was stuff that wasn't in this trailer that wasn't in the movie, okay? And then you had this one, which is the special Comic-Con footage. And almost everything in there was in the movie. And all of that stuff is principal photography, meaning Zack Snyder shot it. Now, people say, they come back with the statement, oh, well, they butchered it. They cut out so many stuff from the movie. No, they didn't cut out that much stuff. Trust me. And you can't say they cut out stuff. What you can say is stuff was left on the cutting room floor. It's a 2-hour movie. It's sufficient. I mean, let me be honest with you guys. We're going to see a Zack Snyder cut once this movie makes $1 billion. And you're going to be shocked at how much the Zack Snyder cut is very much like this theatrical cut. I always thought that Suicide Squad extended cut was just not good. I prefer the theatrical cut to the extended cut. And I will continue to say Warner Brothers made a good decision with Suicide Squad. Having David Ayer do the Suicide Squad version that was in theaters, I think it was a good call on their part. And I wouldn't say that this is a good call on their part, that Joss Whedon's trimming down of this movie is going to be better than the Zack Snyder version. But this is what I know. This version represents something that has potential to mesh Marvel with DC. And not only that, but it's a coming together kind of thing. It can bring peace to the comic book universe. And I'm really looking forward to this movie doing well for that reason alone. And I think for entertainment value, for 2 hours, keeping you in it, you're invested all the way through. There's no really boring parts. The movie keeps on moving. I think when it comes to that, I think people are going to over time say, oh, I like this version better than the other version, the 3-hour cut that Zack Snyder gets to us. And I think that's because this version, I think, appeals to a greater audience of people. Like I said, people on YouTube, and I'll try and do a video on all these other YouTube reviews and people on YouTube, by and large, everybody on YouTube says it's entertaining. All right, whether they think it's a good film or a bad film, it's entertaining. And that's what you want to go see a movie for, entertainment. And I think it has inherent value in it, and that's why I love this movie. I just wanted to debunk those rumors that, oh, everything in the trailers, they left out all our stuff in the trailer. It's not true, folks. It's not true at all. All right? Share this video with those who don't know. And even so, since these are trailers, it really doesn't matter. You should share this with even people who haven't seen the movie. They'll get it spoiled a bit, but you know, it's late in the game anyway. And if they haven't seen the movie, it may intrigue them to see the movie. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be coming with some other debunking videos. There's a whole bunch of rumors people make about this movie. They've been saying things, negative things about it. And it's so strange. We've got comic book movies that are just worse than this movie. When they had the loose plot holes, they got all kinds of problems with the world they're in. They're unrealistic. They're just, they don't really give you much value for your money. But hee hee ha ha. But yet, this is the movie that's been attacked relentlessly. And it only means something, guys. Those of you who are DCU, true DCU fans, you know it's because it has inherent value. That people are trying to take away their attention from what the film is actually saying and try and place it onto something else. And I hope the directors like Patty Jenkins and all the other directors would come on board and realize the value of this film. I know they're very busy people, but they should take some time out to watch this movie. Even Zack Snyder, I would like for Zack Snyder to come and watch this movie, but I have a feeling Zack Snyder knows what's going on in the movie. And even if some things happen bad with Zack in the background, I hope that Zack comes out and says something about this movie, because I really feel like this is a special movie. It's really special. And that's why I keep on harping on it. We're going to keep on fighting for this movie. You guys have a great one.